Ooh. I'm live. I am live. I'm doing a Gear Talk Q&A, and I'm back. So, with that being said, let me make sure I got give some more volume. There we go. I am live. Okay. And as people come on, yeah, I got volume. This looks test 1 2 test 1 2 2 2 2. All right, there we go. All right, as people come on and I do my Q&A, let me know because the YouTube algorithm, the YouTube volume looks a little misleading. So I'm back. We're here to do another. Let me know if that looked like it's bouncing a little, maybe a little too hot. So as people come on and start posting chats and stuff like that, I saw something about, I was talking about professional recording studios and home recording studios, but I also wanted to talk about audio engineering school. So, with that being said, with audio engineering school, do you need it? Do you need to go to audio engineering school? Basically, I'm going to say no. I don't think you need to go to auto engineering school. There's going to be some people that are going to say, yes, you need to go to auto engineering school. And they'll, but I'm like this. If you go to whatever audio engineering school, for the amount they're charging, I look at it like this. Let's say you go to Full Sail, get a 4-year degree. Is first of all, what can you do with that 4-year degree in auto engineering? Now, am I saying that you won't learn some stuff from audio engineering school? No, you're going to learn some stuff, but can you learn it without spending that kind of money? Most definitely. So I look at it like this: with the auto engineering school, what are they going to teach you? Let me, I got this fan going because it can get pretty toasty here, but if the fan, I don't think the fan is, I should put my headphones on. But now the question would be, or what would they teach me in audio engineering school that I could learn on my own? Well, let's talk about what are the most common things in any, let's, for example, studio, like any commercial studio or any studio altogether. You're going to consist of basically a few things. The musicians and what do they use? The musicians are going to be, there's going to be a drummer. So we've all seen what a drum set looks like, right? So we can't dispute what a drum set looks like. We've seen them. We've seen bass guitars. We've seen a lead guitar, and of course they definitely use cabinets. And of course, there's also the keyboard player. And what do they use? Some keyboard players have keyboards that that you don't need to run an amp to it. And then most professional keyboards, you need to run some sort of keyboard amp. So with that being said, okay, well, to record those sources, you can record those sources 2 ways. You can either mic those sources with a microphone, or you can, they have a direct connection, what we call a DI, direct input, right? So that's how you're going to capture it. So it's kind of like, well, that's kind of like a no-brainer. I didn't need to go to audio engineering school to know that I need to record those sources 2 ways, right? It's kind of like, do I need to just spend 3-4 months learning how to mic a cabinet? Really, let's talk about miking the cabinet. The biggest thing is, really, technically, you got basically about 4 different microphones you're going to use. Like me, I'm using a solid state style condenser microphone to talk into. Then there is a ribbon type of microphone. There is a dynamic microphone, which and then there's usually another condenser mic, but it might have a tube and a transformer in it. So between the two condenser mics, one has a tube, one doesn't. One is solid state. One's a dynamic mic and one's a ribbon mic. So that's kind of like, do I need to spend $25,000 a year to know that? No. So it's kind of like, well, now you gotta, as an engineer, you just gotta kind of experiment. Which one of these microphones sounds better on the source I'm trying to which one of these sources I gotta, use to try to capture that guitar, that drum set, or whatever. We got some people chatting in. Okay, it says Super, I got a session I got to get ready for, but I'm going to watch the recap for this. Like, okay, awesome. Yeah, YouTube usually after it posts it, actually posts it later, so you can watch the video feed later. But I do appreciate you being a supporter and always tuning in. I try to do these live chats. I'm trying to be consistent because I think if people know. I think that people know that I, like, for example, I do a live session every Sunday. Then people notify me to be able to ask me questions every Sunday. I think that's a good thing. So I was talking about audio engineering school, which is going to lead to recording studios. That's going to lead into the home order commercial studio. So it's kind of like, do I need to spend $25,000? Realize there's really only 3 types of microphones. Now usually on a dynamic mic and a ribbon mic, you don't use awesome. Yeah. Now, every Sunday I'll do awesome Super Hayes that I'm here. Usually I'm gonna try to be here every Sunday. Try to keep that as consistent. Unless something happens, I can get sick or something like that, or something can happen, a family issue, whatever. But I'll try to let everyone know prior to that if I'm not going to be able to be here Sunday. But I do appreciate the support and tuning in. So I was talking about the stream microphones. So the only thing with J Productions, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. So I'm talking about these microphones. Well, with a dynamic microphone and a ribbon mic, you don't imply 48 phantom power, especially on a ribbon mic, because you can blow it up. You can damage a dynamic mic. So condenser mic is the only one that usually requires phantom power. So do I need to spend $25,000 at an audio engineering school to know this? I'm talking about a year. We're talking like going to Full Sail to know. I'm making fun of audio engineering. I'm not really making fun of, because you can learn a lot of stuff, but I'm just making fun at how they can take advantage of. That's basically like, how can you take advantage of people, making them spend 9 months, a year, to learn simple stuff that you can learn in 5 minutes. And I'm going to charge you $25,000, $30,000 a year. It's kind of like with any traditional college. Maddie Two Hats says, "Hey everyone, welcome, Maddie Two Hats." Another thing is, so it's kind of like when so now I know I got a guitar and I got a bass cabinet, a guitar cabinet, piano, whatever cabinet, or whatever the case, whatever source, it could be organ, piano. I got to capture that source. Let's say it's a piano, whatever. So the biggest thing is the soundboard on the piano is where the sound is coming from. So that's where I'm going to mic. Drums is like every piece of the drum is where the sound of source is coming from. So that's where I need the mic. I don't think you need to spend $25,000, $30,000 a year to use that. That's kind of like a no-brainer. The only thing that you have to practice is where to place the mic. One of the things that you want to do when you place the mic is not placing you don't want to place the mic in a position that the drummer is going to hit the microphone. So you want to kind of get it out of the way, but you still want to capture the sound of the snare or the kick drum. And so a lot of times that's the learning phase. The best place to place these microphones on the cabinet, to capture the sound of the guitar cabinet, to capture the good sound of the bass cabinet, You just don't need to spend $25,000 a year to learn that. Okay. What else are they going to teach you besides setting up a tape machine in a school? Okay. If I go to a tape machine, yes, it's probably nice to learn how to put on tape, how to maintenance the tape, how to, use the alcohol to, and so forth, to clean the heads on a tape machine. Or get a calibration screwdriver to calibrate and align on a tape machine as far as the channels and all that. But there's a big U but. And I'm talking about like Nicki Minaj's butt. It's like a big butt, right? Kim Kardashian butt, right? But who is really working on tape machines these days, right? 90+% of people are recording in a DAW, right? So it's probably better for someone to learn all the tools of a DAW. You don't need to spend $25,000, $30,000 to learn that. You just need to pick a DAW and learn everything about the DAW. Everything in a DAW is there. You just got to click on it and find out what it does. Here's what's funny thing about some DAWs. A lot of times when you see all kinds of functions on a DAW, there's a help section that tells you exactly what it does. Like I see something that says, let's say it says, I'm just going to make up something like track. I'm just gonna make up a word, sludging. Okay, we know that don't exist, but let's say it says track sludging. You can actually put the mouse over there and it'll put in a highlight in the help section. I know Cakewalk and some of these other DAWs will put that in the window that says track sludging is slowing the track down, and this is how you do it. So that's where you learn. You just take your time and read every function that your DAW can do. I don't think you need to spend $25,000 a year to learn that. Oh, we got comments coming in. Let me start reading some comments. It said J Production says, I went to a music course at the Jamaican University of Technology. I didn't learn a lot that I didn't already know, but I wanted the certificate. Plus graduating valedictorian was a cool, I guess. And this is, that's actually great because I got some certificates from Berkeley, right? The thing is, if you go into let's say the studios that are open, they're not going to usually ask you for your certificates. They're going to ask you, how much do you know? What is your experience? Have you ever worked on an SSL console, whatever? And one good thing is if you go to those schools and you work on SSL console, but most of the time, and I'll tell you why most of these studios can't afford, they really don't care about the schools. And I'll tell you why. They got $1 million client in there. Let's say a Justin Timberlake or Snoop Dogg or Adele. They can't take the chance with the kind of money they're getting from that artist on a brand new person out of school that do not know how to set up 1176, or they don't know how to set up the mic right, or they don't know how to set up the vocal chain, or how to use the patch bed. They just are not going to take the chance and blow a $200,000 to $1 million client. They're not. That's why they're going to have their chief engineer who's probably been there, like a Manny American or Joshua, or Dave Pensado. That's who they're going to. So in interim, that's the reason why it's kind of like a slap in the face. I went to school for 4 years, and all you want me to do is clean the bathrooms and wrap some cables and give you some coffee. I want to learn, that's why you're there. But the biggest thing is, even if you don't get it, if they allow you in the control room, you're learning a lot just watching. Oh, yeah, he's turning that knob that way. Okay. All right. He turned that 1176. Okay. At the 12. Okay. I see where he put the attack. Okay. I see where he's done a 4-to-1. Oh, you take notes mentally, and if you can that's how you pick that stuff up. Let me see. Oh, Maddie 2S says education can be expensive. for sure. That's all college degrees, not just audio engineer. And sometimes it's like, what do you learn? Like, man, I got a bachelor's degree in cybersecurity. And most of the stuff that I learned in that when I was going to school for that is already outdated stuff. They're not even using a lot of like for, like if I'm doing network penetration to find out if someone's trying to hack a network or something like that. The system I learned in school, they're not even using that because hackers are always innovating their ways to hack your system. So 90% of the time, most of the stuff that you learn in college is already out of date by the time you get your graduation. Let me see. It says I used to hear full sale was 28,000. And that's like 4.3 million in my country. Yeah, it's kind of like every country's currency. Like for example, if you get 1 million Turkish lira, is only equivalent to like $2 of American money, but it's 1 million Turkish lira as an example. See, interning might just be better. Yeah, if you can get a chance to intern, yeah, sure enough, you may as you intern, but what you do is you take notes of mental what they're doing in that control room or what they're doing in a live room. That's where he's placing the drum mics. You make that's where he's placing. I see. He used the SM57 on the guitar cabinet. He placed it there. You make visual notes and you take as many notes as that's what they're doing. And visual sometimes is learning, just watching what people do. So let me see. Oh, Spawn, salute. Salute. You got a hand salute, right? Ice House Music. Hey, just got here. Welcome. And then Super says, I'm about to actually invest in a solid state recorder, like a hard disk recorder. I got a hard disk recorder. I have the Alesis 24-track hard disk recorder. Awesome. One thing about stuff like that, one good thing about external sources like that is that most of the stuff when it comes to gear like this do not require updates. Excuse me. Y'all probably know right now, a lot of my DAWs have already been out of date because they're already on new versions. They're already coming down. They're coming out with Studio One 7 Pro. They're eliminating artists in Prime. I've always had Studio One, the professional version, always. But it's like trying to keep up with the Joneses with the DAWs. Just like with operating systems like Mac. Mac changed their operating system like you change your socks. It's crazy. Gotta love DAW tool tips and mouse over. And believe it or not, a lot of times another way I learned DAWs is when I roll the mouse over, I see if a little highlight comes up to see if there's shortcuts. That's how I learned the shortcuts. It'll say if I screw over here and it says F6 to pull up the mixer or whatever, I'll F6 it. Oh, that's the shortcut. That way I remember it. Learning the shortcuts make your workflow. Learning the shortcuts make your workflow so much easier and faster. Let me see. Let me see what else. Got a certificate don't always equate to experience. Yeah, certificates don't always. Yes, because experience is just time doing something and getting better and better at it. That's pretty much the generic definition of experience. You just been doing it over and over that you become good at it. It's almost becomes brain or muscle memory. You don't even have to think about it because you've just been doing. Oh, yeah, I can. Yeah, I know how to. Yeah, that's easy. How long you been doing that? 15 years. No wonder. It's kind of like a musician. Speaking of musician, I'll throw this right quick. I was talking to a friend of mine. And I was putting this analogy to him. I said, think about this for a second. You take any kid, male or female, they could be 9 or 10 years old. And they start in the 3rd, 4th grade. And they start playing this trumpet or trombone, violin, whatever instrument. By the time they graduate their high school senior year, they've been playing that instrument 8, 9 years. That's 9 years of experience on that instrument. And I said, if you think about that, this is the reason why college bands sound so good. I'm talking about college marching bands. because now, really, technically, almost all those college band musicians, I don't care if it's a HBCU or your traditional state or even private institution, listen to the quality of that marching band. Those are 18, 19, 20, 21, 20-year-old. We're talking because we're, juniors, seniors, sophomore, freshmen in college, playing those instruments, and listen how good they sound. Those are professional musicians because they got at least a minimum 8 to 10 years of experience playing an instrument. And he's like, I never thought about that. Yeah, that's it. Every college student is a professional at that instrument. They've been playing it for that long. So it's the same thing when you inexperienced. If you've been mixing for 10 years, you're good at it, you're pretty much a professional. Let me read some more. I got some more comments coming in. Let's see. Ice House Music. Hey, okay, yep. Welcome, Ice House. Did I say welcome? Okay. Sponsor, that's right. Experience is the best way. Let's see. Let me see. Oh, sponsor. I learned everything in school. Books can't teach me how to get out or into a situation. And you think about this, I guarantee, and you think about most schools, even in the military, when I was in the military, they train you as everything is going well at something, right? But they don't tell you, let's say you are in school, you learned on this SSL console as an example, because most of them have SSLs, right? SSL is probably the most large format console of all of them, even though the difference really between a lot of those consoles, SSLs just got a few extra bells and whistles like gates, compressors, expanders, and stuff like that on the channel. Other than a lot of Neotecs, they don't have that. They just have your preamp, your EQ, your master fader, maybe short faders, and sends. We call them. You can call them bus sends, auxiliary sends, Q mixes, whatever. It's the same thing. But you got this person, they working on an SSL console, so they get good at working on an SSL console. So if you can work an SSL console, you can work any mixer, right? Pretty much. But my point was, I was bringing back to the point where, let's say all of a sudden you got your everything patched in. You're going to use that compressor. You're going to use that preamp. You're going to use that pull tech. You're going to use that distress. Everything's patched in, and you start doing a session. All of a sudden, the stressor goes out. All of a sudden you're like, what happened? A lot of times sometimes they don't realize the distressor went out. They just like something changed. An experienced person will automatically know. Oh, the distress ain't working. All right, let's stop the session. We're going to have to stop the session. Let's take a break. Y'all take a break. You getting the talk back, talking to everyone we're going to give you a bait. We're going to give you now, Man Network says, hey, your mic is crackling. I don't think it's clipping. Now, is my mic crackling? Everyone else, let me know. Is my mic crackling? Because let me see. Because make sure how's the mic? I gotta check with everyone. Is the mic okay? The mic is crackling. Let me double check. It could be. Oh man, y'all gotta let me know this stuff. Okay, a little bit. Let me grab the headphones right quick. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right. Let me listen to what's going on so I can fix it. Oh man, y'all should have let me know. Man, your mic is messed up. Let me know. Let me hear what's going on. All right. Let's check it out. Let me hear check it out. Okay. You know what it is? It's the fan. It's the fan. That's why. Okay. The fan is blowing, so I'm gonna turn the fan a different direction. The fan is blowing against the